Okay, so today is our last piece of review for our final exam. We're going to be talking about 1 and 2 variable data. We're going to look at different trends in our scatter plots and different graphs that we can have, as well as looking at stats and then into personal finance. So first of all, 1 variable data, this measures 1 variable at a time. So where one piece might have a theme, like you could be talking about your favorite food, and the one variable would be the frequency, so the amount of people that like that certain food. So 1 variable data, this can look like a bar graph, a histogram, a circle graph, or a pie chart. And 2 variable, this is when you have numbers along the bottom and along the side. So measures 2 attributes at the same time. We normally analyze this with a line of best fit, or we could have a curve of best fit. And noticing different correlations within the data. So examples here are scatter plots, ordered pairs, tables. So looking at our different types of correlation that can happen. So when we have our 2 variables, we can see different trends that exist. So we have a positive correlation that can happen. Okay, so this looks like a positive slope for a linear function. We can have a negative correlation, so as you're reading from left to right, the data is going down. That's our negative correlation. Or there can be no correlation, it just has the points scattered everywhere. It doesn't create a certain trend. So when we have our scatter plots, we want to try to create a line of best fit. Now, this line of best fit is used to estimate other points within the data. So if we are going to use interpolation, this is estimating a value within the data. So what we notice here is that all of these blue data points, and interpolation is if you're estimating anywhere that's in between that first data point and last one. Now, extrapolation is predicting values outside of the data, and this can happen before the data starts, and it can also happen after the final piece of data that we have. Okay, so that's our interpolation and extrapolation. Now, looking at our stats, we have the given data here, and we want to determine certain values. So what it's asking for is mean, mode, median, first quartile, and third quartile. So whenever you have a set of data, the first thing you want to do is put it in order. So you want to go from lowest to highest. So our numbers are going to be 2, 9, 10, 10, 10, 12, 14, 20, 25, 28. Okay, so once they are in order, we can find all of our values here. So the first one we have is asking for mean, and the mean is adding up all the numbers and dividing by the number of numbers that we have. So we add them all and divide by number of numbers. Okay, so that's 2 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 14 plus 20 plus 25 plus 28. When we add those together, we get 140, and that's divided by our number of numbers, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we get a mean of 14. Okay. Our mode is our most common. Okay, what we have most common is our tens. There's 3 of those. There's not the same amount or more of anything else. So our mode is 10. Now, our median is our middle number. Now here, because we have 10 numbers, we are actually going to have 2 middles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the middle of our data. And that means we need to take our 10 plus 12 and divide it by 2 to get the middle number, and that's 11. Okay, now the first quartile is taking the first half of the data, so up until the first number until the median, and dividing that in half. That position is the first quartile. So since there's 5 numbers in that first half, position 3 is our first quartile. And in the second half of our data, we have 5, so that third number again is going to be our third quartile. So the third quartile is dividing the upper half, and the first quartile is dividing the lower. So that third quartile is 20. Okay, so looking at another set of data here. Again, first thing you want to do is sort the numbers. 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 12, 15, 17. Okay, so again, our mean, we're adding up all our numbers and dividing by the number of numbers. So adding these all up, we're going to get 92, and divided by how many there are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. Okay, so here we get a value of 10.2. Our mode is our most common, so the number we have that is most common is the 12. Okay. If there were 2 numbers that were doubles, see right now we just have the 12s that are doubled. If we had another set of doubles, we could have more than one mode. Or if there's only one of each, then there could be no mode. Next, we're looking at the median, so we need to divide this data in half. So the middle number that we have is 10. That's our median. Okay. Now, dividing the first half of the data, so here we want to focus on the 4 to the 9. So halfway is the 5 and the 8. So 5 plus 8 divided by 2, and that gives us 6.5 as the first quartile. And dividing the second half, so our third quartile is using the 12 and the 15. So 12 plus 15 divided by 2 gives us 13.5. Okay, so that's how we find our different values when we're given a data set. And the last thing we want to cover is looking at our monthly budgets. So thinking back, to make these calculations, You always want to make the value into yearly and then divide it into monthly after that. So thinking about the number of weeks in the year, there's 52. Bi-weekly, that's 26. If it's quarterly, there's 4 times in a year. Semi-annually is twice, and annually is once per year. Okay, so with our budget, we want to focus on monthly. So each piece of our budget we want to make sure is in the proper form. So looking at Julia's income and expenses, the take-home pay after taxes is $42,000 per year. If we want to go to monthly per year, we would divide this by 12. And we get 3,500. Okay, so this is income. And I'll switch to a different color for expenses. Okay, so talking about mortgage, paying $450 bi-weekly. So the $450 is going to happen 26 times. So we multiply that by 26 and then divide by 12 from there to get our monthly. So we get $975 for mortgage. The cell phone bill is $65 a month. We don't need to do anything with that. It's just $65. Our utilities are $170 per month. Again, that's already monthly. We can leave that value. Food is $60 per week, so we're going to multiply that by the number of weeks, which is 52, then divide by 12. Get $260. Car is $40 per week. Again, same calculation here. Multiply by 52, divide by 12. Car insurance is $1,200 per year. That yearly amount we're going to divide by 12 to get monthly. And entertainment and miscellaneous is $300 per month. Okay, so looking at our total amount of expenses, we're going to add up these numbers. So 975 plus 65 plus 170 plus 260 plus 173.33 plus 100 plus 300. Okay, that gives us a total expense of $2,043.33. Okay, so that's the amount that she is spending. The amount she is making is the $3,500. So is Julia earning enough to cover her expenses? Yes. And she's going to have a surplus of the 3,500, subtract the 2043.33. Surplus of $1,456.67. Okay, so that could be put into a more organized budget, but I do not have that table added into the slideshow here. But that's the main idea when you're creating the budget. Okay, so textbook questions for all of the review today. And again, let me know if you have any questions and make sure your culminating activities are handed in.